Well, it's not my question, but it's an interesting question. Should ANZAC Day be cancelled? ANZAC Day being the day where this country and New Zealand, Australia and New Zealand, remember the war veterans. Found a video here. Should ANZAC Day be cancelled? They don't want it. This is a channel called Harris Sultan. Uploaded 11 days ago. Very well apt and timed because today is the day of ANZACs. So we're going to look into that. We're going to react. But I've got to just check first. I don't think DLive is running. Nope, it's not. Yo, Kick, you're running. Everything's running except for DLive again. That is a shame. That is a shame. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show it to you so you can all see what I'm talking about. Here we are on the beam stream. All of my channels here are selected as being live. You can see I'm live. I'm right there. There's a duplicate of me. There's me squared. It says DLive is live. So I've got these tabs up here that I go and check each stream. And you go to DLive, Command R for the refresh. And it is not online, even though Beam says it is. So this is what you do. You just turn DLive off. Now it says multi-streaming will stop in a few seconds for DLive. It's offline. Now you go back on, turn it back on. DLive says multi-streaming will begin in a few seconds. Go back to DLive, Command R, and voila. There it is, live. Stream information. So there is, and by the way, that's when I shut that tab down because DLive is a little bit of, in fact, I'll shut all these down.
Hello there.
Hello there, Hendrik. Hello there. H-Man scared the shit out of me. You frightened me there, dude. I was expecting just a waffle here to nobody, but you jumped in. Yeah, by the way, so that just shows you that everything's running correctly. And oh shit, 45 viewers. Crikey, where are those numbers coming from? 34 viewers on Part High. Are you kidding me? I like 34 bot accounts on the party machine. I don't believe the numbers. Why should I believe the numbers? Because they're fraudulent. They're not quite accurate. Just making sure this window's a bit sized down so I can still see shit up there. And anyway, yeah, what's cracking on a Sunday? No, Friday, not Sunday, Friday. Friday affair. ANZAC Day even, you know? Hello. Hello to the Australians and welcome to the stream. Whoever's out there celebrating ANZAC Day, whoever celebrates, remembers. Lest we forget, that's the only time of the year we'll use that word lest. If anybody uses the word lest outside of today, well, I'd like to know about that. I was going to go and get an orange juice lest I got apple. No, that's not how that works. No. I was going to get myself a refreshing beverage lest I dehydrate. That's how you'd use that word. I've yet to become a Partai bot. You're not on Partai yet, Hendrik? I'll tell you where you are, though. You're all over my Discord. Those fighting words, I see it. You and I thought you kids were playing nicely back there briefly, and then I look in the Discord, and there's all kinds of shit going down. I mean, at least it's conversation, I suppose. At least there's a conversation to be had. And I'm definitely staying on the fence on this one. Oh, man, I need a haircut. Well, Claudia was here. We didn't get a chance to cut my hair. We did a great photo shoot, though. Look at that hideousness. Are you serious? This is it? This is what I'm working with? There's no helping me. Yeah. Big changes coming up here. Big changes starting tomorrow, actually. I won't tell you what they are until they happen, but big changes coming up in the machine. I think East Timor became Timor-Leste. Leste. Oh, Hendrik, what have you done there? East Timor became Timor-Leste. Lest we forget. No one uses the word lest, right? Yo, ChatGPT, where are you at? I'm having trouble with ChatGPT at the moment. I'm not going to lie about that. There's been a time when I need some info, and it's not giving me the correct information. I've been using Microsoft Copilot, but I'm going to ask it here. Does anyone use the word lest outside of ANZAC Day? I've never used the word lest before. Lest is one of those words that feels somewhat formal or old-fashioned, so it's not as commonly used in everyday conversation. However, it does still appear in certain contexts. That's a hard word to say. Contexts, especially in literature, speeches, and formal writing. That's not what I asked you. I asked you if that people use it today. Its use isn't strictly limited to ANZAC Day when it is up. Come on, ChatGPT. I'm asking if anyone actually uses it. Don't give me the definition of it. Fair point. Yeah, don't make me come in there, ChatGPT. Honestly, outside of the formal settings like ANZAC Day speeches or historical literature, lest is pretty rare in everyday conversation. Most people today would likely substitute it with a simpler phrase such as so that or in case. For example, in case we forget instead of lest we forget. It's one of those words that's more often read than spoken, and even in writing, it tends to pop up.
Hello there!
Well, hello there. Lest we forget net TV's in the house. How you doing, man? Lest we not deal with the Dale issue today. I get you, Hendrik. I get you. I feel you. Lest we fix things, heaven forbid. How you going, guys? Good skis, net skis. How you doing? Tends to pop up more in historical or dramatic context rather than in casual, more modern day use. So to answer your question, not many people use lest in daily life. It's mostly reserved for specific, usually formal or solemn contexts. Today, though, it's ANZAC Day. You get out there and lest up. Get all your lesting done for the year. You know, get it all out there. We got the ANZAC Day video. Should ANZAC Day be cancelled? I'm interested to see what this is about. Harris Sultan, 256 subscribers. Whoops, I pressed click on his channel. Didn't mean to do that. Revise.
All right, folks.
No, not yet, Harry. Not yet. No, we'll come back. We'll come back to you. I'm going to grab a beer pretty damn soon, actually. I'm parched as, bro. Feeling a little parched. But I want to run you by this. So there was a gentleman surfing with me today who did something pretty lame. So anyway, it was this guy. So I spoke to him. Seemed pretty cool. Him and his mate were out. Pretty cool. Just said whatever. He just said something about the cameras and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm shooting and blah, blah, blah. So nice day, pretty good waves, pretty good conditions. Been pretty heinous lately, so it was nice to get a decent sort of day out there. And he snapped his leg rope, or his leash if you're playing outside of Australia. He snapped it, and so I heard him say something, and then I looked at him, and he was pointing at his mate, and he's like, I got to go in because my board's in, I got to go. So he ended up going in, and they both left, and I didn't really pay much to it, but then I just happened to look back at the beach, and I saw him at my camera, like right at my camera, and I caught what I thought in my head, what I initially thought I saw him do was like get down in front of the lens and just do like a hey or something like that. But I was correct I was not correct, because what he actually did was he came down in front of the camera and just ripped the lens and just turned the lens around. But the thing is, the camera is such a long lens that you don't see. So it's pointing at the ocean. It's pointing at the ocean, and it's zoomed in on the wristband, the GPS tracker where I am. So it's tight on me. So this guy, he just grabbed it and yanked it around. And like, you know what the slack track, the solo shot's all about, right? It's like, it's a very sensitive item, very sensitive. Like I'm super ginger with it, even just carrying it, like walking that thing up and down the steps and down the beach and wherever I'm aware I've got that. If I've got it on my back in the carry case, It doesn't bounce on my shoulder. It stays tight against my body. I'm super careful to make certain that thing does not get moved. It's in there and it's wrapped up and it's wedged in nice and tight so that the mechanism stays together, because it's all cogs and rubber bands and stuff on the inside, and they're all computerized, and that's where the slips happen, and that's where people have problems with. It's called limp mode, and you got to get it sent back. That's what happened to mine. So I had to get sent back to get retightened and all this kind of stuff. So for someone to manually grab it and just yank it around, like probably the
hello there.
Well, who did that? Hello there, Comtech. How you doing, man? Hello, gift. Yeah, that was a slack track, Hendrik. Yeah, fully. Yeah, the solo shot. So for someone to grab it, manhandle it the way they did, it's probably the worst thing you could do to that device. Like the worst, aside from dropping a camera and having a lens break, if there's a moving part such as an up and down and a left and right pan head, and if you manually rip that around on its base, that's the worst thing you can do. And so he did that, and like I called it when I was out there. I was like, I hope he didn't, because I could immediately after he did whatever he did, I couldn't see the green light, and the green light is like a laser that you can see it. You can see the green light from kilometers away. It's a pinpoint laser, and the brighter the light is, the better the tracking is. So maybe it's not tracked you dead center. The light will be a little bit less green, and then all of a sudden it'll track you square on. It's like, oh, it's bang on, right? And as soon as he was there, the light never came back to me, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what has he done? Like. And so I surfed for the rest of my surf. This was around about the 35 to 40, probably closer to 40 minutes. So that you've arguably got about 20 to 30 more minutes. Usually I get about an hour 8 from the batteries. So and by then I'm getting pretty tired as well. And it was a shitty paddle today. Looking at it, you wouldn't think so, but there was a lot of water coming over this bank, and it was just so much movement. So I was pretty tired, but by the end of it, when I got back on shore and had a look, he had definitely done something to the camera. And then when I got back and got the footage, it's clear that he just manhandled that thing, like for no real reason, because you don't even see him on camera. You just hear the lens you hear all the bad wheels and cogs get scratched, and even the noise is painful to hear, but. So the point I'm making, and I made this in my video, is and he was a decent guy. Like we chatted beforehand, right? We chatted before, and for all I know, he could have just done that to turn the lens to say, "Hey, man," whatever. But he didn't say anything, and the lens was so zoomed in that you don't see him at all. So he failed on all of those accounts, and what he's probably done is messed up my solo shot, more than likely. I haven't tried it since then because that was obviously the end of the session. But the end story, or the story I'm trying to illustrate here, is if you see something, and I'm not talking about just specific this case, like I'm not just talking about surfing and on a beach or something. I'm just talking about in general in life. If you see something that you don't understand, like you're not sure what it is, you're not sure why it's there, you're not sure what it's doing, the best thing you can do is to just not interfere. Just don't touch it. Don't try to dissect it. Just observe and then walk away. If you're a little bit dumb, like this gentleman clearly is, or not clearly, I got to keep going back. He might have been trying to say hello, but he knew it was me, right? He knew I was surfing and filming because we talked about it. So if I saw someone that was doing something, in this case, some photography of some sort, and there was a camera on a tripod with a sandbag, and it's obviously mounted and it's pointing in the direction of where we both are, you could logically conclude that that dude is using that camera to film. So if you start maneuvering it and changing it, for all he knew, that might not have been he might not have known that that's a tracking camera. He might have just assumed it's pointed off on one particular bank and it's just locked off there. And yeah, sometimes I do that with the iPad. Fuck me. That went on for a while. Yeah, that's definitely how I felt, Hendrik. I was like, fuck me. Can like You don't need to be a genius to work out. Like, just don't interfere with shit. Like I said, it could be anywhere. It could be on the street. You could be walking past a building site. You could, whatever it is, just don't interfere. Like, just leave it. If you don't understand it, then just leave it alone. Because he fucked up the rest of my stuff. Truth be told, I only got a couple more semi-decent waves, and it wasn't. You didn't miss anything. My first wave was pretty good, but yeah, I don't know. Like, do you reckon I'm being too harsh? I'll show you the video. It's coming up when I'll go out and grab a beer. I'll play it. It's my today's surf video. But do you think that's too harsh? Like, and you'll see I made some comments on screen. Like, I don't think that's too harsh personally. Yo, Netsky just got pizza delivered from Uber Eats. Uber Eats. Wow, I even said it that way. What an amazing service. Uber Eats. Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't have it here, but I've had it. But it's not harsh at all, Comptech. You don't. Yeah, okay, good. Because I'm preparing for some people. These videos go up on YouTube and whatever, and I'm preparing for people to come in and maybe to slam me and say, "Calm down, dude. He was just trying to say hello." I was like, "Yeah, I get that. You can definitely do that, but do you have to touch shit? Like, if you want to say hello to a camera and it's on a beach unmanned, you could just walk in front like those girls did and flash. You know, if you want to do that, bam." That was pretty rad. But it also, as much as it's rad to see chicks flash say hello with their friends, it was also the same in the same summer that a dude gave me a hello from that angle as well. I was like, okay, I'd rather the chicks, but it's okay, you can do that. But neither of them touched it, right? Neither of them manipulated it. And the fact that he didn't say anything, like there's no, you don't hear anything. You hear the cogs all get messed up, but you don't hear any voice. You don't hear his mate from a distance say, "What are you doing?" or "What's going on?" So it's like, fuck, he just went over there and just yanked the lens around. That tells me, look, this is what this tells me. Part of me wants to think he was just trying to say hello, but the fact he didn't say anything leads me to believe that he just didn't want me to film. By ripping that around, he was hoping to point the camera away from the break. But the thing is, he'd already left. So if he was pissed off at me filming, period, he should have told me when we were talking way before he snapped his leash and went in, right? He's already left at that point. And they did. They left. I thought he was going to get his second leash or something and come back because the waves were pretty fun. But he left. Was that Uber boobs? Right on, Netskis. Anyway, without any further ado, check this video. I'm going to grab a homebrew. This is the video from today, which features the rip around. And you'll hear it. You'll see it. You'll know what it's all about. I'll be back shortly. Oh, what happened? The guy that was out here, I think his leg rope broke, paddled in, and I looked up and he was at my camera. Now I don't see the green light. And I'm missing all the good waves. What happened? What did he do? I hope he didn't just turn. Oh, man. I hope he didn't just turn the lens and wave at it or something, because that's really going to mess it up. Yeah, good. Yeah. Nice morning, huh? Hell yeah. Yeah. So there you go. I feel like that covers it, right? Maybe I was a little harsh by calling him a fuckhead, but I mean, imagine I had got barreled. Imagine I had got a good, like a clean first ever barrel in that session, and it wasn't filmed because that dude had yanked the camera. Like I would have been fuming. As it stands, I hope the camera still works, but I'm not that. I'm just a little bit shocked, I guess. Like what? I personally would never do that. I'd never touch anyone's shit. Like, nice long ride gives. Thanks, Netskis. Yeah, that first left was real fun. Got me psyched up. I really like Shyla's boobs. Hendrik. Okay. Well, okay. Calm down. Calm your tits, as it were. Calm down. Okay. I'm going to have a beer. I think I need that after that. A little experience. Crack it open. Exclamation drink and exclamation pour in the chats would be lovely right about now. In 3, 2, 1. Yeah. It's funny opening a long neck with the can crack. If you're angry, you're angry. I was angry. I was certainly angry. Yeah. Now I feel better. One sip of homebrew and it's all good. Yo, Harris Sultan, what you got for us, big guy? Play skins?
Sultan, do you know why more and more people in the West are starting to believe that there is a systematic conspiracy by the political elite and even some unseen forces to erode native Western culture?
No, I don't. But first of all, I should note that this man must be smart because he's standing or he's sitting in front of a bookshelf. He has smarts. Me, I sit in front of a bottle of whiskey. I'm a dum-dum. This man's a smart.
Do you know why so many are now developing a negative view of multiculturalism? Does anyone ever stop to ask how countries like Britain, Canada, and now Australia, countries that were once high-trust societies that embraced immigration and multiculturalism, have now become so skeptical?
I'm angry in the Discord, Hendrik. Are you going off in the Discord? Shit. Calm down over there. Comtech already has a great green screen. All that could be it. Hey, 71 viewers. Where are they all coming from? 71 viewers? Party? Are you botting again? Yep, 54 viewers on Party. Those are funny numbers.
Even
by the way, quick. Shit, we should have mentioned. Happy birthday, Beam. Beam turned 1 today. Beam stream, 1 year of age, and monetizations has opened up, and I got accepted. I'll do a stream about that tomorrow, though, on YouTube, because I want that stream to, to live forever. But yeah, congrats, Beam, on a year of existence. Yeah, 1 year. It began in April last year, and now it's celebrating 1 year. And GG.Beam, Beam stream. Yeah, hell, that's a good game. Well done. Well played, Beamskins.
hostile toward immigration.
But it's also interesting to note that today, DLive didn't work on the multi-stream. Shh, don't say anything to anybody, but it doesn't seem to work very often. Just saying.
Well, one can hardly blame them. People are seeing their national identity, their holidays, customs, and traditions being stripped away in the name of inclusion and diversity. And it's not paranoia. It's happening right in front of us in real time. Across the UK, Australia, and Canada, long-standing cultural traditions are now being renamed or watered down.
Yeah, you can't say Christmas and Easter. It's the holiday season. Fuck, what about Easter and Christmas, man?
To avoid offending others. In many cases, they are being quietly erased from public life, not questioned, not debated, just simply removed. And this is
what was that? Melbourne's annual Australia Day parade won't be returning. Whoa. Shit. Aussie. No.
Not questioned, not debated, just simply removed. And this is where the double standard kicks in. While Christmas becomes a festive break, Easter gets pushed into the background, and Australia Day is labeled Invasion Day. We see Diwali, Eid, and Ramadan being actively pushed forward. Councils host.
Where's that? Where's Ramadan?
Diwali, Eid, and Ramadan.
That's not Australia. That's the UK, right? That's not a very fair screenshot to include there. That's obviously England with those old telephone booths.
Being actively pushed forward. Councils host events. Parliament houses get involved. Landmarks get lit up. Multiculturalism is celebrated, but only one way. But here's where it really hits a nerve. Even ANZAC Day is now under pressure.
To play Satan's advocate, no, God's advocate, Jesus' advocate. Who? Someone said, why don't we ever do? Why is it always the devil's advocate? Why can't it be God's advocate? To play God's advocate, are there people celebrating Australia like Easter and Christmas still? Sorry, that image of the Prime Minister. Where was it? That image there. To be fair, did he also have one that had Happy Christmas and Happy Easter, or is it only this one? And is that real? It might not even be real. Just to play the advocate.
Culturalism is celebrated, but only one way. But here's where it really hits a nerve. Even ANZAC Day is now under pressure. You know what ANZAC Day is? To Australians, ANZAC Day, the 25th of April, is as significant.
ANZAC Day is the day of the year when we can say the word lest and not feel like an absolute tool.
As Armistice Day is to the British. Just like in the UK where people gather at the cenotaph, observe 2 minutes of silence and watch the King and Prime Minister lay wreaths, Australians gather at dawn, shoulder to shoulder, across the country, from remote towns to capital cities. We hold dawn services. We march. We remember. It's not just a day off. It's a national ritual, a moment of collective soul searching. It marks the Gallipoli landings in 19...
Can I be honest? I'm going to just pause this for a second. This is complete honesty as an Australian. I'm 49. I haven't been to a single ANZAC Day parade. Never. Never been to a dawn service. Never been, ever. Not once. I don't mind saying that. I'm not saying anything against the service, and I'm not saying anything against those who served. I'm not saying anything against the remembrance of that, but I'm just saying as an Aussie, in my family, there isn't any connection, really. My father's German, my mother's English. There's no real connection to ANZAC Day, but, I mean, people want to remember. However, this also should be said, just to keep the advocate going. Every year you go further past when this... Every year that you celebrate Anzac Day, it's another year later. And so those that were involved, there might not be many war veterans alive anymore. And so as it stands, the further we go away, the further we move in time further ahead, the least people, like I'm sure Portia doesn't know what Anzac Day is. And so if you go forward 20, 30, 40, 50 years, is there going to be just a small pocket of people that are remembering it? You know, there's going to be traditions and they're going to try to, you know, keep the traditions alive. But just by nature of the people that no longer are with us, there's going to be less people that go through that. Did Blue Screen MAGA send this? If so, my thoughts are confirmed. I don't know. I do not know. I'm standing on the fence. I cannot recall. But I got to tell you, you asking that question means you're coming out firing, Hendrik. This is the first time I think in my streaming history that we've actually had like an internal war going on. Like usually we're all on the same side when there's like an absolute dick that needs, you know, like there's an Adrian Banks, for instance. We're all on the same page, you know. This is the first time there's been war in the faction together. So as the arbiter of the, as the one, am I the guy throwing the dice? You know, the one, I own the, I'm just going to back out of that just ever so carefully. I'll just eject myself from that conversation.
15, where thousands of young Australian and New Zealand soldiers, barely more than boys, were sent into the horror of war. Many never returned, but their courage, their resilience, their mateship, those values became the very foundation of what it means to be Australian. And over the years, Anzac Day has grown beyond Gallipoli. It now honors every man and woman who served this country in every war, every conflict, every peacekeeping mission.
Okay, I genuinely did not know that. I did not know that. Anzac Day now does not just remember those in the Gallipoli War, it's across the border.
It has grown beyond Gallipoli. It now honors every man and woman who served this country.
Okay.
In every war, every conflict, every peacekeeping mission.
Okay, well then what's the problem? Why are we getting rid of it? This shouldn't even be a question then, right?
Western Front to Vietnam, from Iraq to Afghanistan, it's about national character and it's about freedom and the brutal cost of it. For Australia, Anzac Day is sacred.
You knew that, Hendrik? Did you? Okay. I didn't. Have you been to a dawn service, Hendrik? As a fellow Australian? As a fellow Aussie, mate?
It's not just about the past. It's about who Australians are today. You can't truly call yourself an Australian if you don't understand the meaning of that sacrifice.
I call myself an Australian. I understand the meaning of it, though.
And you certainly can't expect to be respected if you try to water it down. But that's exactly what just happened.
First this morning, a primary school in Sydney's northwest will let parents decide if their children attend an Anzac Day service at school, giving them the option to opt out.
A school in New South Wales...
Wait. The parents are being given the option to not have their kids attend. That's not forcing it. That's giving the option. Aren't options good?
School in Sydney's...
down. But that's exactly what just happened.
First this morning, a primary school in Sydney's northwest will let parents decide if their children attend an Anzac Day service at school, giving them the option to opt out.
I don't see that being the smoking gun that I think this gentleman thinks it is. If they've been given the option to not attend, there's also, by nature of that, the option to attend. So it's not like it's being cancelled. Maybe there's more coming though.
A school in New South Wales, Sherwood Ridge Public, recently told parents that their kids could opt out of the school's Anzac Day service. Opt out of Anzac Day.
What's wrong with options? What's wrong with options? Being forced to do something seems a little more archaic, but giving you the option, right? Am I right there? Like the courage to say I'm not going? Opting out. That's probably better than saying everyone's forced to do this.
As if it's a subscription service. Why? Because a handful of families said their religious beliefs didn't align with commemorating war. The identity of these parents hasn't been made public, but let's be honest.
I don't know. I'm on the fence here. Hendrik, I used to live next to an ANZAC memorial, so I was working to a few ANZAC services. Oh, okay. That doesn't count, though. Unless you went outside in your pajamas, doesn't count, dude.
We can guess the cultural background.
That's like saying I live next to the beach, so therefore I'm a surfer. No, you've got to get in the water and actually start surfing, dude. Oh man, there's best viewers on streamboo.com. I can't believe it. Yeah, I need those best viewers. Hell yeah.
The identity of these parents hasn't been made public, but let's be honest.
Hey, Dogsky, how you doing, man? Good morning, good afternoon, or good day, good evening. How you going, man?
We can guess the cultural background of those who have a problem with ANZAC Day. It's ironic, isn't it? These same communities proudly celebrate their own military conquests in India, North Africa, and even Spain.
So the campaigns to expand Islam were initially defensive, aimed at protecting the Muslim state and securing its borders. But it quickly moved through vast territories, toppling empires such as the Byzantine and the Sassanid empires, who were seen as unjust and oppressive societies, especially to religious minorities. Local populations in areas like the Levant and North Africa, for example, were discontented under Byzantine rule and therefore saw the toppling
What's
of
this
this
supposed to
empire
show?
as liberation rather than conquest.
But when modern Australians simply commemorate the sacrifices of their young soldiers, suddenly it's not compatible with their religion.
Speaking of ANZAC Day, look what Doug's doing. He's watching the ANZAC game from the MCG on a wet Melbourne day. Yeah, ANZAC isn't just about remembering the wars and the sacrifices. It's also about sports and beers, getting together and enjoying team sports.
I've been warning you guys for almost a decade now. This is an aggressive culture, and it won't rest until it's cannibalized every culture around it. And let me be clear, this isn't just about one school. The fact that this even made it past the planning stage says everything about where we are as a country. The backlash was huge. Parents were furious. Veterans were livid. The principal eventually backflipped and made attendance expected. But not before the damage was done.
Compulsory.
Not before it exposed just how
Compulsory, you meant. You didn't mean expected. You meant compulsory, because the opposite of opting in and out. No, the opposite of what is the opposite of compulsory? Optional. Optional is what I'm trying to. The word optional, right? It's optional. I still think that's a good thing. My sister is there right now to escape the rain. First of all, remembering those who defended this country and then give their lives. Thank you. And then kicking the footy. Yeah. Yeah. No, look. I'm not saying that this is. I'm in favor of scrapping ANZAC Day at all. I'm not in favor of that. But is this story a bit of a beat up? The school said it's now optional whether you come or not to this service. I think that's pretty decent. Optional, right? Give you the option to decide.
fragile our cultural core has become.
What about flipping a coin?
They're targeting the holidays and customs of Western countries and tearing them apart. When even ANZAC Day is treated like an inconvenience, like something we might skip to be more inclusive, you know we've gone too far. You can celebrate Diwali at schools. You can fast during Ramadan. Young Aussie girls are made to go to mosques to...
You can celebrate these things. You don't have to, though. Young girls are forced to go to the mosque.
Schools. You can fast during Ramadan. Young Aussie girls are made to go to mosques to attend Islamic bullshit PR campaigns. You can light up...
I highly doubt that. I highly doubt there's mandatory Islamic, what did he say, campaigns or whatever they're forced to go to. I highly doubt that. This is this country's most important day. Name a more important. I reckon Australia Day is more important, to be honest. The founding of our nation. I think that's more. I mean, defending our nation, yay, of course, it's massive. But finding it first, you've got to find it to defend it. You can't just defend something that you're not sure where it is. Like, this is our country and now we're going to defend it. I think Australia Day comes in first.
Made to go to mosques to attend Islamic bullshit PR campaigns. You can light up the Sydney Harbour Bridge for Lunar New Year, but suggest that every child should stand for ANZAC Day? Suddenly, that's controversial.
But he didn't. But that's not what this. He just contradicted himself. They're not saying that every child should stand up for ANZAC Day. They're saying you have the option if you want to attend or not. I think that's a good thing. That's a good thing, right?
And look, I'm not saying don't celebrate your own heritage. I'm saying don't disrespect the heritage of the country that gave you the freedom to do so.
But hold on a second. If you don't attend an ANZAC Day service because maybe it's not relevant to you, isn't that respectful? If you say, I'm not going to go to the ANZAC Day memorial because I came here 3 years ago from a war-torn country that has nothing to do with any of that, so out of respect, I'm not attending. Isn't that good? Isn't that showing respect? Didn't the Poms steal Australia? Well, we could also go down that avenue, Hendrik. Depends how much of a fighting mood you're in.
Multiculturalism was never meant to come at the expense of the host culture.
The game's back on. See you in half. No worries, Doug. The footy's on the TV.
It was only meant to be tolerant towards other cultures. It was meant to be respectful. It was meant to be about coexistence, not cultural annihilation. ANZAC Day.
What was that?
Australia Day, Christmas, Easter.
You can't just show footage of something and not explain what that was. What is that? Where is that? Is that on Darling Harbour? Oh no, that's that's under the Toaster, isn't it? In Sydney. Right by the Toaster. Heading towards the Opera House?
ANZAC Day, Australia Day, Christmas, Easter. These are not just ceremonial.
You can't just throw that footage in and not explain it. That's like putting a picture up like of a young child bawling their eyes out, and you're like, "What was that in there for?" Oh, it's just showing upset. You got to talk about it. What it is.
Relics. They are anchors. They are reminders of what binds us together. Because once we start treating our own traditions as optional or as something we can opt out of, while bending over backwards to accommodate everyone else's culture, the annihilation of native culture is complete.
Okay.
And people are right to ask, when did being part of the majority become something to be ashamed of? This erosion doesn't come with fanfare. It comes quietly, through schools, through language, through subtle policy changes, and always, it's your culture that's expected to make way.
Comtech likes the way he zooms in to make his point. Little tactic there, huh? Little film school he's been at.
No one tells migrant groups to stop celebrating their heritage. In fact, those
I mean, he definitely has a point there. Like we are seeing more and more addition of, celebrating other cultures. We're seeing more and more of that. However, again, you can't expect that not to happen. If you open the doors to people to come in from another culture, you have to expect that they're going to bring their own traditions. That's not, you don't need to be an academic to work that out, right? You understand if you bring in other cultures, they're bringing in their culture. That's why you're bringing them in. So to tell them to not celebrate their shit, that's not right? You've got to expect that that's going to be a part of it. Gives used to Zoom for effect. I used to Zoom for effect. I don't think I've ever. I've got a Zoom function on my GH5. By the way, my wound is healed up quite nice. I'll cut to that. You can get it. That's looking quite good, huh? A couple of days of surfing, scabbed up, no infection. Swish.
Funded, expanded, and celebrated. But then why is it so controversial to expect a child to honor ANZAC Day? Why is it divisive to expect everyone to recognize the sacrifice that made this society possible?
Isn't it more, the question should be more something like, why should a 13-year-old Egyptian girl be forced to go to an ANZAC Day memorial service? That's probably more the question, right? She's born in Egypt. She came out here. She's hasn't no clue what Anzac Day is all about, yet she's made to get up early and go to a dawn service? That's probably more of a question.
We've lost our confidence. We've been told that pride is dangerous, that history is shameful, that cultural memory is exclusive. So we apologize, we dilute, and we disappear. But that's not progress. That's surrender. You cannot build a united, free society on cultural guilt.
United free society. Okay.
You build it on mutual respect, on shared values, on the courage to protect what matters. I came to this country because it worked, because it had order, freedom, opportunity, and yes, a culture that had the spine to stand for something. But if that culture is constantly told to step aside, what are we even integrating into? Because multiculturalism without integration becomes tribalism.
But I think that the other question is like, what part of your culture are you going to give up? Like, is there something that has to go? Like, let's say I'm not too sure where this guy's from, but let's say there's a particular cooking ritual. I don't know. They eat something that we don't eat over here. Like, let's say Chinese, right? Let's say the Chinese, they eat dog, right? They eat dog. It's normal. It's normal to eat dog in China, right? We go, what the hell? That's weird. We eat chickens. We eat kangaroos. Probably eat a wombat if it came across my path, but they eat dogs. Yet if we saw a Chinese person cooking a dog, you'd be all over the place. Like, what the fuck? You can't cook dogs. What? So there are parts of your culture that if you come to this country, you've got to be willing to say, I can't do that anymore. They cook dogs in the street, they can't do that. So there's going to have to be something that you're going to be willing to give up. Is that what he's talking about? You got to be willing to give up part of your own culture.
And tribalism doesn't unite. It fragments.
Very early days, you was like, I'm looking at you and Zoom. Oh, yeah. I had Hendrik, I had a Stream Deck command that would cut in. Yeah. It wasn't a Zoom. It was just like a digital enhancement. Yeah. I think I got that from, that idea probably came from maybe, there was a streamer. What was their name? Nah, not going to get it. We eat cows. They're sacred in India. Stop eating the cows. Right on. Yeah. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be something, or it seems like you've got to be willing to give up something. If you immigrate to another country and you become a citizen, you've got to give up certain things of your own. Yeah, and that example of Chinese people eating dogs, that's a pretty clear-cut example. Like you definitely cannot cook up a greyhound in Australia, right? You cannot do that. You'll have the RSPCA on your door. They'll be like, you can't do that. It's like, why not? This was every Sunday in China. We used to cook up all the dogs. They breed them for that shit. Like, we do it with chickens, we do it with cows, we do it with anything. But a dog, I can't do that.
It turns society into a collection of disconnected communities, each loyal to its own symbols, its own customs, its own memory, with nothing left in common. This is why we see hundreds of no-go zones in Europe. There are Muslim ghettos in the UK, France, and Germany. The natives don't go there because they're not welcome.
Yes, it is. This is a Christian country.
You're jealous that we're taking over?
You're not taking over. Why are you taking over? How are you taking over?
Mate, we've got it, mate. We've got it.
You've got it. Is that what you think? You haven't got it. But you've got people scared. You don't have us scared. No. You think you can take over town and tell us that it's your country?
The Muslims don't go outside of their enclaves because the sights of bars and nightclubs and casinos offends them. That's why Britain, I'm sorry, is going to be a failed country very soon. And if we don't change course in Australia, we're going to follow them too. And when there is no we left, there is no country left. So people are waking
See, this is the kind of person I'd love to have, like, I'd love to interview or I'd love to discuss with in this change of my channel coming up after August. I'd like to be able to just have him on as a panel and just be like, okay, let's break all this down. Like, let's get into the nuts and bolts of this. Like, and I'd ask him that question. The first thing I'd say is, what part of your culture did you give up to come to Australia? And what would you be willing to give up? Because that's where this is where the line gets drawn, right? This is what he's actually saying is, part of who you are, if you move countries, part of what you believe and where you hold value has to go, and you've got to take on other values. So I'd love to be able to just have that conversation. Who is this guy? He's an Australian. Maybe this could be one of the guys. Harris Sultan. Where's he from? I don't eat cows. You don't eat meat. Yeah, Australia, right? Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll hook up with him, have a chat, say if he wants to come on the channel.
Up slowly but surely. And they're starting to say enough. Enough of the guilt. Enough of the double standards. Enough of watching their own history be treated like baggage. They're not asking for dominance.
He sounds like the MAGA bullshit Dale is spreading. Hendrik, you were the one that said no Dale bashing today, and you're the one bashing Dale. And there's Dale there. Shit, and he's answered your call. And folks, welcome to the left-hand side of the ring. Hendrik Eber up there in Queensland. On the right-hand side of the ring, Dale Bold in Flowrider. Ding, 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 ding. We want a clean fight, boys. Let's keep it nice and tidy. Respect each other and no below the belts. And take your marks, get set, and fight.
They're asking for fairness. For the right to preserve their identity without being labeled
Oh,
racist.
by the way, Dale, you're here. Did you post this link? Because I genuinely cannot remember where this came from.
Because a country that forgets who it is can't survive. So the next time someone tells you Anzac Day doesn't matter or that Christmas should be neutralized, remind them
It's not your
this.
link? Okay,
A nation
there it is.
that fails to protect its
There it is, H-Man. That was not Dale's link. So all of your assertions were wrong. This might have been something that came across my feed for all I know, and it might have been Duncan. Duncan's been sending me some stuff lately as well.
own culture will eventually see it disappear. And when it's gone, don't expect the people who erased it to replace it with something better. They won't. They'll replace it with something of their own. So please, stand your ground. Speak the truth. Protect the culture that made this country what it is today. Well, what it was until very recently. Because if you don't, you won't have a country.
Interesting. Very interesting, Harris. I kind of agree with a lot of it, but I also don't agree with a lot of it. Because like I said, so, okay, take this for example. There's a new pizza joint in town. Okay, aside from ham and pineapple, which could arguably be, well, it's not even Australian, but you could consider ham and pineapple pizza to be an Australian pizza. I know it's Hawaiian. I know it comes Hawaiian, but it often is regarded as an Aussie pizza. But what else on the menu at this new pizza joint do you think is the flavor? All of it's Italian, right? All of it. And pizza, arguably, period, is Italian, right? So if you're going to say there's only certain parts of Italian culture, for example, that we're going to embrace, are you willing to forego pizzas? I'd tell you this up front. I'm not. If you say that we can bring, and I'm just using Italians as an example, if we're going to bring Italians into Australia, but they have to be willing to get rid of their own traditions and take on ours, I want them to teach us how to make better pizzas. I don't want them to give that up because, hell, a great pizza, right? That's where I'm coming from. Like, if you're gonna give up stuff, where does it stop? Like like the kebab, right? From Turkey, we all love doner kebab, right? German doner kebabs, hell yeah, man. We don't even have the good ones in this country, and they're still good. Are you telling me that you can't have that? You can't have tabbouleh? You can't have hummus? That's out. That stuff's rad, dude. Like, I want that. So where's the cutoff? Like, if they can't celebrate their own religious things and their own parties and shit, where do we cut that off? Do we say no gatherings of more than 4? You know, like COVID days, none of this, none of that. You can't do this, but you can cook up all those pizzas because we'll eat them. You know, like you can't have both, man. And I'll also tell you this. Okay, there's a couple of things at play here, but this new pizza joint, it has I've never, ever had this. It's got salt and vinegar, fries, French fry, right? French. Fuck, we better culturally exclude that. We can't have the French fry. That's not the point I'm going to make. Salt and vinegar. French fries from the deep fryer. It's the subtlest thing, and they come in a gigantic bowl, like a big ass bowl, big enough. In fact, you could just get a bowl of that, and that's all you need to eat. You don't even need the pizza at that point. Salt and vinegar. They got this seasoning. It's obviously desiccated vinegar and salt, and it is like, whoa, so good. You're so Moorish. Salt and vinegar fries. Dale, I've never had a fry like this before. And I said, like, you guys are onto something with this. Like, it's something so small, something so simple, something so subtle, but it's something so different. And that's what people remember. We went to that joint and they had that salt and vinegar fries. We sat there for 4 hours and we ate all the pizzas, you know? Why is it if someone likes something and you don't, now they're your enemy and you crap on them? Whee! It's ridiculous. I say fuck off with all your rules, Netskis. Okay. There's no rules here. Your stream, your rules. D-Live taught us that. D-Live. Comtech, there's a pizza place that has options to pay with money. Oh no, they're taking away money. Yeah, there's a big movement to go back to cash, isn't there? Salt and vinegar is standard fish and chips in New Zealand. Yeah, but the difference there, okay, so Netsky, and this is an English thing as well, the difference with that, salt and vinegar fish and chips, the vinegar is malt vinegar, right? Like it's a wet vinegar. This is a seasoning. So the chip is dry and crunchy. A dry, crunchy salt and vinegar chip. There's no malt vinegar. There's no white vinegar. It's a desiccated, dried up vinegar. So good. Like it's so subtle, but so good. Malt vinegar, yes. I still like you, just not your politics and your antics and your lack of honor to the truth, Dale. Ooh, Hendrick's on fire. I'll ignore lies here. Dale's lying. Dale thinks Hendrick's lying. Man, fuck. Fight. I just want to see a good fight, let's be honest. It's Anzac Day, you know? Get it. You guys pop off and I'll just sit back and enjoy it. I just want to watch. I won't. I'm being silly. What else have we got in the lineup here of videos? Oh, police vlogs. What's this? Corvette Patrol, Florida Highway Patrol. There's no denying this one's from Dale. It's in Florida. This is definitely yours, right, Dale? Try denying this, man.
Hey, man, I can't wait till this drops.
This is my link, yes.
Why wait?
Okay. Look at these MAGA dudes in that car making Florida great again. Piss and bombers. Piss and bombers, Hendrick. Bombers? As in bombers, like back in the day?
We could do this right now. Ain't nobody catching us in this thing.
This is all staged, right? I'm gonna watch you bleed. What are we watching, Dale? What is this? Come on, man. What is this? They're actors.
If you see something, send something. I know you thought it was going to say...
That's an ad? Fuck you. Put that ad right in there.
Which resulted today, including real-time alerts from your local authorities.
What the hell?
Tips so much Apple Store to Florida Higher.
Damn, dude, that was cool. Corvette Cop Car. Yeah. So this is legitimate, but that intro was just all waffle. But this is a legitimate Corvette cop car. Okay.
Patrol Troop F over here in Southwest Florida, and we're going to be showcasing what you clicked on.
Oh, the pies and the bombers is what Doug is watching at the MCG. Gotcha, Hendrick. Gotcha.
for the thumbnail. And right now I'm about to meet my man, Lieutenant Close.
Welcome to Fort Myers, Nick.
How you doing, sir? Good to meet you.
Doing well, nice to meet you.
All right, hey, I heard you had a special treat for us back there.
We do. We have something that we've been working on, trying to keep it a little bit quiet for the past few months,
That's great. Give it to a YouTuber. They'll keep it nice and quiet.
but now we're ready to show it off.
All right, so before we show it off, can you introduce yourself to the Nod Squad?
Right
My
on.
name's Lieutenant Andrew Close. I'm a lieutenant here in the Fort Myers District of Troop
So he's not an actor. This is legitimate. Like, he's an actual trooper.
F. I've been with the patrol for about 22 years, and I'm excited to show you what we got going on here.
The Florida Highway Patrol has given us the honor to break this new vehicle here to showcase it to the world for the first time on the channel. Super excited. So, without further ado, where we go?
I hate YouTubers that say without further ado, even though I did it earlier on this very stream, but I hate myself.
Going.
Follow me back. Just wait right here, Nick. I'll be right back.
Is this like, hey, ChatGPT, write me a song in the style of Red Hot Chili Peppers, but make it more guitar-y and less wanky Anthony Kiedis lyric-y? That's almost a Chili Peppers riff. Mad Max. Netsky, I still haven't watched any of that shit. I still haven't watched any Mad Max.
Oh man, guys.
Yeah, I'm 49 years of age and I've never been to an ANZAC Day dawn service and I've never seen any Mad Max films. I'm an Australian though. Last I checked, I was.
Florida Highway Patrol outdid themselves once again.
So what do you think?
Just when you think it can't get any sexier, woo, you slap a black antenna on it and level up.
All right, Nick, what we started with here, it's 2023 Chevrolet Corvette C8. This is the 70th anniversary. This is FHP's first ever mid-engine supercar. Let's talk about performance. It's an LT2 6.2 liter V8 producing 490 horsepower.
Now hold on a second. Cynical me comes in here. So I've heard many people reporting about high-speed police chases. And the consensus over the last number of years is that they're no good, right? High-speed chases, we'll just eject. We won't pursue. We'll just back out because it's usually regular Joes, regular civilians that get caught up in the crossfire. And so the police are like, we're not doing that. So what is the point here of having a super souped up sports car as a cop car? Because is it intimidation or is it like, no, if you try to outrun us, we can definitely catch you. So what? All of a sudden police pursuits are good again? Because they were bad for a while. They were like, we're not doing that. I know in this country they don't often do it. Like they seldom do it. But if you look at that and you go, we can't get away, we can't even try to get away. Is that the idea? Thing is, if you let criminals go, they've proven to be dangerous. They must be stopped, punished. But if you do a high-speed pursuit in the suburbs, it's usually people that aren't involved that get caught up, they get sideswiped and people die, but they don't need to, in the pursuit of the criminal. Need a Model S cop car. Need a Delica.
465 pound-feet of torque. It's paired with an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. This vehicle is capable of a 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds and has a top speed of 194 miles per hour.
Jesus.
All right, let's talk about paint and body. We have our traditional two-tone paint scheme with one-off state trooper lettering, custom fit the quarter panels, and traditional door seals sporting our state flag. The factory rims are powder coated and also incorporate our two-tone colors on the rim logos. We completed the look of the Corvette with Stingray emblems and an OEM carbon flash finish.
What do you think about the car?
I like it.
You like it?
Looks good.
All right.
I think I could probably get away in this though, right? With the hybrid? Hybrid minivan?
She looks pretty fast, man.
And it wouldn't be true.
Not an EMP rifle. Stop the chase early. I mean, maybe all this money that they spent on this sports vehicle, they could have invested in like, you know, like tracking. What are those things that they throw out on the roads, like the tire track stuff that stops the vehicles? You know what I'm saying? Like building or buying a faster sports car to catch criminals. I don't know if it's the most effective. It's a bit wanky, right? It's a bit wanky. Like the cops are so cool, they've got a Corvette kind of thing. I don't know if that's cool.
FHP without the blues. Let's talk about the emergency light. Just as with the rest of our fleet now, we outfitted this one with federal signal lighting, and the entire emergency package was installed by ProLogic ITS in Fort Myers.
And how many of these are there in the fleet, or is it just a one-off? If it's just a one-off, that's a lot of wank. But if there's multiple of these, I can kind of see how they're changing. But if this is just Dale, is this a one-off vehicle? They have nets that wrap around the rear wheels and stop the car. That'd be more of buy more of those.
This is a custom one-off build. Up front are 8 dual.
It's a custom one-off? That's ridiculous. They did that. That's a. Who funds the state troopers in Florida? Is it taxpayer dollars?
Micro pulse blue and white lights with programmable patterns, 2 federal signal speakers concealed behind the bumper cover with amplified rumbler to provide low frequency tones.
Someone should steal it just to make a point. Like, yeah, I stole that vehicle just to prove that you're not all what you cracked up to just because you got a souped up sports car for a cop car. You know, we stole it. We stole it and we dumped it into a golf course, into a lake. You guys can go and retrieve it.
We have 4 300 series lights with dual blue and white colors. And in the back we have tricolor lights. These can illuminate red, white, or blue.
Come on, man. The cops are there to serve and protect. This is just a load of wank. It's like a reality show or something. They just do the job.
Used for the traffic. Red you can use for warning lights, and white will illuminate the scene.
Stealing a cop car in the US is a good way to get shot. Yeah, there's probably plenty of different ways to get shot in the States.
We also use them as reverse lights. And just like with all of our other vehicles, we position the lights in different layers. That's for extra visibility. On this vehicle in particular, we have the layers of low, lower, and lowest.
Definitely a lowrider.
All right, Nick, let's take a look at the inside.
Dale, you have to acknowledge this is a bit over the top, right? Am I gelling? Am I making a point here? Is this hitting? Is this a salient point? This seems over the top for no real reason.
So the interior of this vehicle is set up to be a fully working patrol vehicle. Obviously, we don't have a back seat for a partition, so there's no prisoners going to be going for rides in this one. But we do have our MDT stand right here, and right below it is our Brother Pocket Jet printer that's on a swivel for issuing citations and crash reports. Down below is the portable radio. This is the only vehicle in our fleet currently that has the red interior, but...
Like, they're fucking talking about the color of the interior of a cop car, man. Really? MD says, yawn. How you doing, MD Wit? Jealous? Not jealous, just curious. Like, do you think this is necessary for a state trooper? I think this is overkill and a shit ton of money wasted.
Who knows? Maybe we can start a new trend.
Yeah.
And mounted back here on the center console, we have our light controller, and this is magnetic. So on the cord, we can use it without having to reach for it, and also it'll stick right there and won't move when we need it to. So we have the lights. We have the sirens and all this equipment we need to do police work. Only one thing left to do, Nick.
Nick says it's ego. Nick. Netsky says it's ego bullshit. That's the way I see it too.
Are we going to do police work?
Let's go do some police work.
Yeah!
My understanding was the car was confiscated from a drug dealer.
I hope you guys have an amazing week. I hope you guys get out there, find a little bit more relevance.
Get the demon out. I love it. I love it. If that's the truth, if there's a drug dealer that lost this vehicle in like, you know, paying for his crimes, that's more plausible. But if this is just an outright purchase from Corvette and then a custom build, this is an absolute load of bollocks. And this is why America is pretty fucked up, if you ask me. This is just excessive garbage. You're meant to serve and protect and, you know, make people feel comfortable and be respectful. This is just making you look like an absolute joke. Not you, Dale, the police force.
Now that we're in it, we can talk a little bit more about the car. Did you guys purchase this?
So this car was awarded to us via an asset forfeiture
Here we
during
go.
a joint task force operation between FHP and DEA. Special shout out to the Fort Myers CI.
Okay, that makes this more plausible. So they didn't purchase it; it was awarded as forfeiture from crime. Yeah, okay. I'll walk back everything I said. I love the Florida police. I've always loved the Florida police. They're really solid. They present themselves in like a real professional manner, and yeah, the intimidation, it's helping prevent crime. These guys are great. Love them.
Shout out to CIU.
That's right. We take it out of the hands of a bad guy and put it to work for the citizens of Florida.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm talking
that's what I was
about, baby.
saying.
So one time for all the haters in the comment, let's get ahead of it.
$0 taxpayer money.
That's a good point, Dale. Personally, I love it. It's way better than some douche criminal flexing. That's a very solid point. Yeah, this is the cops flexing. Yeah, okay, I'll take that on board. You're wrong about everything else, but that point there, you got me. You got me. Yeah, it's pretty good. Remember, I work in the legal field. It's justice. Yeah, no, I get you, and I feel you on that. Like, this would look a lot worse if it was just some, some ex-biker or some drug dealer flexing on an Instagram post. But this is I get you.
To the acquisition of this vehicle.
And might I also point out that if I ever get, if there's ever some profits of crime and I get pulled up or whatever, and they need to take GoVan, they can also use that as a camper on the weekends. They can fit it out as well as they want as well.
I know in the Camaro they tried to come out, but really quickly was educated on how this whole seizure forfeiture program works.
Yeah. I'm wrong about everything else. That's hilarious. I beg to differ. Okay.
Besides what we're gonna do now,
You can differ, but just know you're wrong.
that this thing's gonna be a showstopper. Any more plans besides just working?
So we're going to use the vehicle for a lot of public outreach. We have through our Office of Public Affairs, community events, parades.
Okay, so it's like the Batmobile. It's a symbol, right? Oh, there's the state trooper in the Batmobile. That's what we're going for here.
Or anything that we can
Cough, hock to a coin. You got me.
to positively draw attention.
I have
to
no
our
comeback for
agency.
that.
We want to spread
I was the
awareness
dum-dum.
for our mission, and this is a good way to highlight that. We can also use the car for recruitment. We're always looking for enthusiastic young troopers to join the ranks. You may have
They're not
noticed
young.
that this vehicle is
They are not young people that join that rank.
a forfeiture, and it's not the first forfeiture that we've taken and put our car loaders on the street. So if we have any
Imagine the criminal. Imagine the dude that lost his Corvette. He's walking around town, goes, there it is, there's GoVan. Look, oh, it looks so much better. You guys did a great job with that. Now let me go and hold up this convenience store.
young, enthusiastic applicants that want to get out there, put in the work, stop some of these illegal activities, there may be a fancy car in it for you.
That's right.
What happened to that coin? I'll tell you, Hendrik. All the way down.
And you can go to beatrooper.com. That's beatrooper.com.
So right now we're just out looking for any type of
Exclamation point. I just farted. And how?
we can find. It's the middle of the afternoon, so there's a lot of traffic out. We want to make sure that everybody's playing by the rules and being safe.
Half time, Doug. Who's winning? Who's winning in the game skis? That's weird noise.
Every single one of them going by, breaking their necks.
Like this guy's taking a picture of it. One way to slow everyone down is just pull the vet out. Because literally everybody is stopping and breaking their neck on this thing.
That could be a bad thing, It's like they have these signs up over the highway that you're supposed to read, and it's like 2.5 lines of text. It's like, there's an accident up there. Bang! Now you're in another accident because you spend all the time looking up at the sign. It's a tight game, but Collingwood Filth are up by 8 points. Collingwood Filth. I guess you're not a fan of Collingwood then. The Filth are up.
It's a showstopper. And it's okay. We don't want people to speed, right? We don't want you to speed, but after sitting in the median, everyone's slowing down and taking a look at the car. So we're going to relocate to another location and see if we can maybe catch some speeders. But
Allowing dangerous criminals to get away means more innocent victims. Okay, but aren't all criminals dangerous? They must be stopped. We need more Corvettes.
But again, if you guys are driving the speed limit, that's what we're looking for.
There is a minimum speed limit on the interstate.
Ah. What you got?
Got a Porsche going 82 and a 55.
Oh shit.
All right, let's see if we can catch up to it.
Let's see if we can catch up to him. Of course we can.
There he is.
82.
Yeah,
He's done. Lights on.
Good afternoon. How you doing? I'm fine. You have your driver's license with you? All right. The reason why I stopped you is I got you going 82 miles an hour. Do you know what the posted limit is there? It's 55.
By the way, you're also on a YouTube channel. Are you consent to be on a YouTube channel? Some crime is petty, not physically dangerous. True. Okay. They should use campus for this. Yeah, we should get Govan out flooring it down the highway. Bombers, my ex was a Pies fan. Okay.
Yeah, it's not 70 until you get on the main.
He's getting the ticket. He's getting the ticket. How much would that be?
Driver's license and registration. This is your copy for the speed. You have 30 days to comply with this. You have 3 options. What's that?
I can see yours even wider than mine. Getting in a garage.
I can tell you it's not wider in the front seat. All right, nice car though. Drive carefully. So we ended.
So what would that ticket be worth? He's doing 85 in a 50. He was doing 80 in a 55 zone.
Ended up issuing a uniform traffic citation for unlawful speed. It was 27 over the posted speed limit. He was trying to beat out other traffic coming up the ramp to merge onto I-75. The speed limit on the ramp there is 55, and we got him doing 82. Obviously, it's very dangerous. You know, you should just slow down so you can merge into traffic, not speed up and try to beat everybody to it. We've got traffic slowing down.
See, I'm going to say here, and I'm not sure of where that is. Dale, you may know the exact spot, but I'll say this. Merging into traffic that's going faster than what you're doing, you need to match the speed of the traffic that you're merging into. So if he got a ticket on a turnpike, like an entrance ramp, I don't know if that's really fair, because it's safer to be on the turning, like on the entrance ramp, and matching the speed of the highway to then just move in and continue along with that traffic. If you start coming in and going slower, then everyone else behind has to slow down to match your speed. That's more dangerous. In Australia, there's places where there's those like the entrance ramps, and they're so small. Like, there's no way you could physically get up to speed before that merging lane enters the highway. Yet you're somehow meant to go from, like, there's a classic one here at, I don't know, no one knows the area, Hendrik does, but there's a classic one in Minamurra. It's a rest area, and the rest area comes down a hill, and then you turn left to join up with the highway, and the highway's doing 100, and you're literally at a dead stop, right? You're actually physically stopped, and you've got about maybe 50 meters of entrance ramp to get into that traffic doing 100. So the only way to hit 100 and not slow everybody down is to fucking floor it to leave that exit, that entrance, and get in. You got to put your foot straight. I got to put my foot flat to the floor to get up to keep speed. Anyway.
Because there's a lot of congestion trying to merge. You know, if somebody's on the brakes too hard, then we can end up with a bad accident.
Violation. Well, what did they do wrong? Tailgating? What have they done wrong? Not indicating? Before they stop them, what's this car done wrong? Violation versa. No car could get onto that highway. You know the one, Hendrik? Yeah, it's horrible. So this car, so in America, the left-hand lane is the fast lane. Doug, in Victoria, the sign is on the main road indicating merging traffic. The sign is on the main road. Okay. So what's this car done wrong? Hasn't indicated. I don't see an indicator. So it's tailgating. It's going to change lanes, wants to overtake. I don't see what's going wrong here. Unless it's... There we go. No indication. Is he speeding or is just no indicator? Brake lights are on? No. Yes. Oh shit, man, we're getting pulled over. Hide the stuff. Quick, hide the stuff.
Yo, pull over. What? Pull over.
Oh, didn't know that's what that noise meant. Idiot. Yo, pull over. Overtaking on the left? Is that illegal? Is that illegal to pass on the left? I thought you could pass in any lane as long as you indicated. Huh. This guy's like, what? Pull over?
Yo, pull over. What? Pull over.
What?
You have a driver's license with you? All right. You didn't see me behind you? You don't speak English? Okay, the reason why I stopped you is for aggressive driving, okay? You're going over the speed limit, you're doing improper lane changes, following too closely. All right, sit tight for me, all right? You have registration for the vehicle?
So he was tailgating and he was changing lanes too often? Fuck, they call that
Yeah.
negligent driving.
All right, keep looking for it. I'll be right back with you, okay? So as you probably saw, this one had a lot of aggressive lane changes, following too closely, was over 15 miles an hour in excess of the speed limit.
Okay.
So this is a good case for aggressive careless. All right, so your driver's license here. This is your copy for aggressive careless driving. It goes to the Lee County Clerk of Court's office. $161 fine amount. Yeah, you have 3 options, okay? First option is to pay the fine. This one is traffic school. Yes, sir. Okay, and you can pay that to the Clerk of Court's office. That's the address. You could do it online or by phone. Okay, do you have any questions? Okay, you're all set. All right, drive carefully.
So,
Drive carefully.
Good enough for me. One stop in a Corvette. That's good enough for me. I guess we'll just call it here because I got to get back to the house and start editing. That was one of the things. I was going to break the news on the channel, but as you saw, everybody had their phone out, so I got to get ahead and try to get this video out.
No leaks.
No leaks. Did mention that aggressive driving unit and that you were going to be using this car to go out, so I guess maybe we could do a follow-up with the aggressive driving unit incorporating this car.
That'd be excellent.
Outstanding. All right, guys, you heard it here. With that being said, I'll see you when I see you, and if I don't see you...
Without any further ado, interesting stuff. Okay, so let's move on. We're going to do, what do we do? We should half an hour. We're going to do a 2-hour stream today. Just a 2-hour stream skins. We'll move on. There's a video here. How is paper made from wood? How is paper? I've always wondered that. How is paper made? Let's find out.
Each year, more than 400 million tons of paper are consumed worldwide. Around 15 trees are needed to produce 1 ton of paper. Production reaches 55,000 sheets per minute to meet this great demand. Enormous harvesters gather tons of wood. But how does wood become paper?
Got wood?
We visited a paper mill to discover how paper is made from trees. It is believed that paper was invented
Wait. Paper comes from trees now? Since when?
During the Han Dynasty, around the 2nd century BC. The invention of the paper machine allowed mass production. In the mid-19th century,
this is from Dale.
Methods for bleaching pulp were introduced.
This is from Dale. Hopefully won't elicit a snaky comment. A snarky comment or a snaky comment? Cows chew the wood up and poop it out, then it's rolled. That's how it's done? I thought it came from tigers, paper tigers. Yes, yes. I thought paper came from the stars, just somehow. I don't know. I never understood it, but that's what I was told. It came from interplanetary stars.
Which improved paper quality. The paper industry is one of the largest in the world. Millions of tons of paper are produced each year to meet global demand. Mainly, wood pulp, extracted from cellulose found in trees, is used to make paper. The wood used in cellulose production comes from forest plantations of fast-growing species. Cellulose is a natural fiber found in the cell walls of plants and is particularly abundant in wood.
So pot papers are cow poop. That's correct. Mushrooms are. Right on. Right on.
Eucalyptus trees are widely used, especially in tropical and subtropical regions. They have a high cellulose content in their wood and grow quickly, making them an efficient option. A tree like this provides oxygen for 3 people to breathe each day. Some varieties of eucalyptus can be harvested in 10 to 15 years.
That's a pretty quick growing tree, isn't it? The eucalypt. The Australian eucalypt. The gum tree, mate.
The paper making process begins with tree felling in the forests. Trees selected for harvest are chosen carefully, considering their age, size, and health. Selection may be based on a selective logging approach, where only mature and ready to harvest trees are cut. Selected trees are felled in a controlled manner. This process is carried out using a 25-ton forest harvester. The cutting head grips a tree with a lathe-like device, and a saw just under 1 meter in size cuts the trunk.
Wow.
The felled tree passes through the head, where 4 blades cut off its branches, and the saw cuts it into more manageable pieces. It takes just 40 seconds.
That looks like something out of like Star Wars or something, like a strange demon mechanical creature.
To turn a tall tree into a pile of wood chunks. The wood is loaded onto trucks
MD Witt's
and transported to
tripping
the pulp
on
and paper mill.
shrooms?
After harvesting, reforestation is carried out to ensure the renewal of forest resources. This involves planting new trees to replace those harvested, contributing to the sustainability of the wood supply for paper production. The paper-making process begins with the arrival
Yeah,
of
right on, Dale. Robots make hard work much easier, fully. Like, this is this used to be a very manual, like, time-consuming, laborsome task. Hendrik, we need the Bombers to win tonight, not the Pies. Okay.
wood. Each day, more than 200 trucks loaded with hundreds of logs arrive at the paper mill. The wood logs are unloaded in the designated area. The machine's clamp can lift 25 tons of logs at once. With a single log, at least 15 packs of copier paper are made.
Wow.
Paper is made from a pulp that contains 65% eucalyptus, 25% birch, and 10% poplar. To produce 1 ton of paper pulp, 2 tons of wood are needed. First, the cellulose must be extracted, but bark is rich in tannins and other unwanted chemicals, so the logs must be debarked.
Debarked?
This process takes place in a debarker that removes the bark from the logs. The logs are placed in this enormous debarking drum. Inside, they collide with each other and against the walls, and the contact removes the bark.
Wow.
It is a process that lasts 20 minutes. The bark
That's going to be
burned
weird.
to produce
That is
the
going to be
steam
weird.
needed to make the
That's going to be weird.
paper. The peeled logs exit from the other end onto a conveyor belt that carries them to a cutter that first cuts them and then reduces them to chips. The largest source of wood chips for papermaking comes from recycled sawmill scraps. The chips are stored temporarily before entering the cooking process.
Dale, are condoms made this way? Asking for a friend. Fill that hole. Jesus. I don't think condoms are made of paper, dude. And if they are, you're using the wrong ones.
This storage allows a continuous flow of raw material throughout the manufacturing process. These 5 piles contain a total of 30,000 tons of wood.
Gang bang!
Is to turn
Gang
those wood chunks into
bang!
pulp.
Gang bang!
Gang
bang!
Gang bang!
Gang bang!
This is Gang bang! Gang bang! Gang bang!
Gang bang! Gang bang! Gang bang! Gang bang! Gang bang! Gang bang! Gang bang! Gang bang! Gang bang! Gang bangs!
The cellulose fibers.
Gangbangs!
During this step, the linen dissolves, releasing the cellulose fibers and creating a mixture called pulp. This enormous cylinder is the digester where the wood is cooked for several hours at a temperature.
Dale needs anti-Viagra. You need a softening pill. That's called work, dude. Just go to work. How to lose your heart on. Go to work.
158 degrees Celsius. Pulp is the key raw material for paper making and will undergo additional processes to turn it into paper sheets.
Papier.
Once cooked, the brown pulp exits the digester and is sent to the...
Me and a friend or a colleague from back in the day used to, in the office we used to say papier for no reason. Paper? No, papier. I don't know why. It's just dumb.
With this spatula, the quality of the brown pulp is modified. The obtained pulp may contain impurities and remnants of linen. At this stage, an additional cleaning and defibration are performed to separate the cellulose fibers and remove any unwanted material. The fibers are washed to remove the acidic solution, and the pulp is now soft and fibrous. Next, it needs to be bleached before it can be used to make white paper. The pulp is bleached and filtered to remove any remaining linen that would cause the paper to yellow over time. To protect the environment, this bleaching is chlorine-free, using oxygen and peroxide. The wood chips that entered the pulp mill have now been turned into a soft white pulp.
That's how they make white paper. What about black paper though, and dark colors of paper?
The main raw ingredient for making paper. The prepared pulp is taken to the paper machine, where the paper sheet formation process begins. The paper machine consists of a series of sections and screens, and the pulp is poured onto a continuous mesh, allowing the water to drain and the fibers to interlock to form the sheet.
Sheet! It's so true, especially if your boss has the hots for you.
Water is extracted with this equipment, which operates at a speed of 1,060 meters per minute. After the initial formation, the paper sheet passes through pressing...
It's good to laugh again and not to be all over silly. Don't worry, that'll pop up again. I feel like you and Hendrik are not finished yet, Dale. There's settling to be done here. There's arguments to be had. There's discussions to be made. There's salient points to be lodged. You guys are not done yet.
Sections where some of the water is removed. Next, the sheet passes through heated cylinders that apply pressure and heat to complete.
I reckon you're correct.
This process reduces the water content and provides strength to the sheet. Between the input and output, the water concentration in the pulp...
You know what we should do? We should do a call-in, and I should just put Hendrik and Dale in the same panel, and I'll just eject and just let you two fight it out. I won't even be on camera. I'll just be like, nope, it's just blue screen static and the H-man. And you guys can arc one up and yell at each other, and I'll be like, see ya.
From 95% to 5%.
You know what'll happen? I'll come back and my channel will have all kinds of... The YouTube will be like, your channel has been flagged for flagrant misuse of the community guidelines, multiple instances.
Subsequently, it passes
Challenge
through
accepted.
a calendering stage, where the paper sheet passes between hot rollers that smooth and improve the uniformity of the paper's surface.
All this work to create paper so someone can just like crumple it up and just throw it in the bin.
Next, technicians check the paper's quality parameters and note any anomalies.
That's right. Those two can't agree, Comtech. They were sent to their rooms on the opposite sides of the planet. That's exactly it. Yeah. And no dinner for either of you. Go to your room with no dinner. That's it. Go to your room with no dinner. I always used to think that was the strangest punishment. That's it. You're being punished. Go to your room. I was like, go to my room? If you want to punish me, send me to my sister's room. My room's where all my shit is. Like, I'm happy to go to my room and play. For sure, Mum. I'll see ya. You really want to make a point? Send me to my sister's room. That's the punishment. Ooh, Hendrik laying down the gauntlet. No blue screen, face to face. Shit.
Process. Quality controls are performed to ensure the paper meets the desired standards. The weight, strength, and smoothness are inspected. Then the paper is rolled.
Is there a scale for smoothness? The smoothness is inspected. There's got to be a dude that's his job is to smooth inspect. And at that point, he's a smooth criminal. Ding, 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 ding.
The now dry and formed paper sheet is rewound into large rolls. These rolls can be cut into smaller sheets according to customer requirements. With this transfer crane, a full roll is changed for an empty one. A roll weighs more than 35 tons and contains 60 kilometers of paper.
35 tons! Imagine being crushed by paper. You'd be like, dude, I couldn't believe it. It weighed 35 tons. It was just a roll of paper.
As is, while others will go through the paper cutters. The rolls are sent to the automated warehouse. The rolls that will be cut later are stored in the warehouse. Robots guided by rails in the floor feed the paper cutter. This one produces copier paper. The robots are controlled from a central computer
That looks like a live streaming heaven.
operated by technicians. Then the paper is cut into standard size sheets.
MD, what's the point of face-to-face? I don't know. I like the idea though, because we could finally... Actually, no, I don't want to see who Dale is. I reject your terms, H-Man, over 7 years on D-Live with no cam, period. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool that we don't know what Dale looks like, or some of us don't. Yeah, I want him to remain a mystery. Because if we do see him, it'll be like, let's be honest, it'll be a disappointment, right? No one can match the idea that you've got in your head. No matter what the idea is, they're not going to match it. You'll see Dale and you'll be like, sorry, no offense, Dale, but I'm just saying, like, everybody, you make something in your mind and you can never live up to that. I'm very disappointing. Right on.
Smaller rolls, ready for distribution. Production reaches 55,000 sheets per minute.
I'm ugly? You know what? That's a funny term, isn't it? I'm ugly. Like, what is beauty and what is ugly? It doesn't, I don't know, like how do you even like chart that on a scale? Because like, I think ugly and beautiful are usually related to age as well. Although there are exceptions. There are old people that are very beautiful. And there are young, ugly people as well. But I feel like I'm okay on camera. I'm good. But I'm saying I reckon I've had my peak of my good looks, and it wasn't a great peak either. It was just Yeah, I didn't get hit with the ugly stick, but I definitely didn't get like. There's people that are way more attractive than I ever was at my absolute peak. But that's gone now, and I'm slowly going downhill, and that's called age. That's called life. I'm happy with that. I'm not happy, but I'm content with that. But it's a strange scale to say I'm ugly, because like your view of ugly might not be the next person's view of ugly, you know? I don't know if you'll be back when I'm back on third quarter. No worries, Doug. Yeah, I'm probably gonna eject here. Filth by 2 points. The filth.
Automatic receivers and operators check the paper quality before packaging. The finished paper is packaged according to customer specifications and stored for shipment. In just 1 hour, 6,600 packs of printing paper are produced. If you want to know how Doritos are made, watch the video on your screen.
Shit.
And please like the video
if you want to know how Doritos are made, just slide that in there at the very end. I'm happy with knowing how paper's made. That's very intriguing. I'll also say this, folks. I've enjoyed this little stream skis. Been fun, been entertaining. I think you all here agree that there are, I don't know, we're on the edge of like a little precipice, I suppose. So Beamstream celebrates 1 year. Monetization has opened up. I'm going to do a stream about that tomorrow on YouTube, just talking about it in a overall sort of point. I guess I can let this out now. It's happening tomorrow. I'll let this out. So the other day or the other week when I had to eject from a stream pretty abruptly, I don't know if anyone remembers, but Charlotte had been dropping a bunch of big donations on DLive, Ninjets and stuff, and I had to eject very quickly. What was happening at the time is coming into full swing tomorrow, and what that is my sister has broken up with her partner James, and they're selling the house, and she, my sister and Poopsie are moving in permanently temporarily. They're moving in here. And so we've been busy with that process of bringing them down here and setting things up. And I've been busy sort of setting up shelving and different things in the room and stuff, just getting it more comfortable. And Portia was here yesterday with Claudia. And then tomorrow, my sister Anya and Portia come down here and they're not returning. So that's So there's been the thing that I haven't been really saying is that there's being a breakup in the family, and big changes. Portia's going to enroll, or she's already enrolled in the local school here. She's going to be part of the community, and they're gonna have to work out their sort of split parenting deal kind of thing. Yeah, it's been big. It's been big news, and I've been kind of holding out on saying anything just because sometimes these things get announced and then they backpedal and then whatever, and it gets remedied and what. But this has been ongoing for a long time, and it's now just coming down to this is what's happening, and it's happening tomorrow. So yeah, priorities get around the family. Yeah. Patience with some of us behaving in less admirable. Yeah, look, you guys have the and I don't know, like it's kind of been selfishly, it's kind of been good to have Hendrik and Dale fighting because it's taken my mind off other shit. So I've been, even though I'm not taking a corner in the ring here. I'm dead center. I want you guys to get along, but I also kind of enjoy the fighting. But yeah, I've just also been using that as a bit of a comical kind of, I don't know, like comic relief. Not relief, but just what's the word? I don't even know what the word is, but I've been using Hendrik and Dale. I'm not going to lie. I've been using you guys. I've been using it for my own benefit, just to sort of distract me from whatever. Yeah. So if you could just continue to fight, I'll just continue to use you guys, and then everything will be good. There'll be a rocky period for a little while, just with the transition and stuff, and how it all sort of pans out. Yeah, just been trying to do the thing that we can do, help out my sister and Portia, and been putting a little money aside every week and been buying Bitcoin for my sister. She doesn't believe in it, or she doesn't know about it. She doesn't have any say in it, but I've been buying it, and I'm going to set her up with a wallet and just send the money across and say, you can do what you want with this, but I'd advise you to maybe hold it. Maybe right now times aren't great, but in the future, this little amount, maybe it could equate to something. But yeah, so there's something else I was going to say. What was that? Something else. No. Oh, well, this is what I was going to say, but I hadn't. So because she's coming down here and she's going to go back into the workforce, she's teaching at the local school. I hadn't thought about this, but I kick myself for not coming up with this, but I should have said, hey, because you're coming down here and you're going to need the space and everything, how about I go back to New Zealand? I'll go back to New Zealand and live out there for a year, and you can stay here until you get your shit all sorted, she's going to buy a place somewhere down here, whatever, just do the thing. But I don't know why I didn't think of it. And it came down to like about a couple of weeks ago, I sat with my sister. I was like, you know what I could have done? I could have gone to New Zealand and given you the space. Like, you could have used all this. I could have gone to New Zealand and I mean, I kicked myself, and then, but you know what she said, which is pretty nice? She said, no, I need you here to help Portia grow up, because she's not going to have a father per se, like, yeah, it's going to be difficult for her father through multiple whatevers, but she said, no, I need you here to help her adapt into this society and to have her transition period become, as easy as possible. And I was like, what are you worried about? It's going to be awesome. She's on the South Coast now. She's going to be surfing for school sports. She'll be smoking bongs with the kids behind the school. It's going to be great. Don't worry about it. She'll be smoking cigarettes and hanging out on the beach. And my sister's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, it's more chilled down here, It's the South Coast. She didn't like that. But yeah, that's what I haven't been telling you guys. And I guess, yeah, I told a couple of you, but I didn't tell everybody because I don't know, like sometimes this stuff, just things change. It's like really volatile, I suppose. Look at you two having, okay. I see you there. I see you there. Gives it a minute. Yeah. So I'm gonna say ta-ta for the time being. And tomorrow, maybe there'll be... Oh, no. Oh, that's what I was going to say. That's what I forgot. Okay, so there has been other changes at my job, at my day job. And I'm working these early shifts again, like starting at 3 o'clock. It's happening more often. And it's because the guy who they employed that loved those shifts, he quit or he moved interstate. He moved to Canberra. And
Peace and love. Peace and love.
So he's no longer there. So there's more opportunities to work these stupid shifts. So today's Friday. I am working Sunday starting at 3:45 a.m. And I feel like I should say yes to them because money, you know, makes you the world go around. It's good money. But so there's going to be times when, like tomorrow, for instance, when Poopsie will be down here permanently and I'd love to stream with her. But in actual fact, I've got to go to bed at like 7 p.m. kind of thing. But that's tomorrow, and I'll deal with that then. Right now, though, I want to thank you all for being here.
I hate to interrupt you, Nick. Hello there. But anywho, I'm going to go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.